G'day guys, Socket here. Today we're going to dive into configuring the Helix Conductor, and like all controllers for the Helix DSPs, that's found under the device configuration menu, which is this button here. Now under this menu there's a bunch of pages. The one we're after is the extended features. It will start off as off, and you can use this pull down to select the controller that you're using. So in this case we're looking at the conductor. Now if you've installed your conductor and it's not working with your DSP, it's highly likely it's because you haven't selected conductor or configured it, which you need to do to allow it to work with your DSP. So if you're having that problem, hopefully this will help you out. Okay, so let's have a look at this this menu. So the first thing you can control in the menu is what is the default function that you want the conductor to have. Now most people will leave this as volume control. So I'm in the conductor, I'm pushing the buttons, I'm playing with my tone control or whatever. Alright, I've finished doing that. 5 seconds later it will go back to its default position, or the main menu they call it, and this is what function do you want that to have. And in this case most people will leave it as volume control because that's the thing that you use the most. In terms of talking about switchbacks, this allows you to turn that function off and make you scroll through all the menus manually, but once again the default is switching back to the main menu after 5 seconds of activity, but you can certainly turn it off there. The next set of checkboxes relate to the different functions that you want active within the controller. So there are 4 to choose from. There is tone control, the ability to select different inputs, the ability to select different sound setups or tunes, and the ability to be able to control your Bluetooth track selection through the controller. So let's talk about each of those in turn. So first of all, the tone control menu, if you activate that, that will allow you to have a menu in or setting in the conductor that will allow you to increase or decrease the treble, increase, decrease the bass on the fly without changing your tune. So you can see that when you select that, it will ungray this control box down here, which will allow you to set the bass and the high frequency for that tone control. So you can change that to whatever you like, 9,000 or 100, or you can to your personal liking. But that only works when the tone control, when you have activated tone control. The other thing you need to mention about tone control is that when you have it on, it will use up the first 2 EQ bands for each of your speakers, so you'll be left with fewer bands for EQ. So make sure that if you're going to use tone control to set this up before you do EQ work, otherwise you will lose your first 2 EQ bands. Okay, let's look at the remote tone control feature. This is a relatively new option available, and it is an alternative to the standard tone control that we just had a quick look at. So it has its own icon up here in the upper right corner. So if we click on that, it brings up the configuration menu. Now I just need to mention that you cannot have the standard and remote tone control active on your conductor at the same time. It's either one or the other. So when we enable this option, it will grey out the standard options. So what is this and how does it work? Well, it's an alternate way of managing your tone control. It allows you to put in essentially a shelf filter at a given frequency, and for that to activate when your volume control is at a certain level on your volume control knob. So for example, I might want to increase my bass by adding a 6 dB gain with a shelf filter starting at, let's say, 80 Hertz instead of 100, and I want that feature to activate when my volume control is at 20 dB. Okay, so that is just a different way of managing the tone control. Both options allow you to use the conductor knob to play with the treble and the bass. Which one is better? Good question. Have a play, figure out which one's best for you. But it is a new feature that's available, and I thought we'd just quickly have a look at that while we were here. Okay, so that's tone control. Signal input is allowing you to have a menu item in the conductor which allows you to select, for example, your digital input or your aux or whatever input that you have for your system. Activate sound selection setup. This is really your tunes, so the conductor has the ability to store up to 10 tunes. For example, when you select this menu item and you turn the dial to 4 LEDs, that'll be tune 4. You hold the button in until the lights flash and tune 4 will be loaded. So that's turning on that functionality within the conductor. Activate Bluetooth playback. Once again, gives you a menu item where you can turn clockwise to forward the track or to skip to the next track, or anti-clockwise to skip back to a prior track when using Bluetooth streaming. The next section is around your LEDs, so you can change the brightness, you can change the level of dimming, which is particularly helpful at night when you don't want the conductor to light up your entire cabin. And then they have what they call installation orientation. So this is useful if, for example, you've installed the conductor upside down and you want the LEDs to be at the 12 o'clock position. Instead of pulling it out, you can just click on 180 degree rotation and it'll flip the LED ring to that position. So that's helpful if you want to tweak the position of your LED ring. Volume control configuration is the next section. While these checkboxes give you different functions for the conductor, this set of checkboxes gives you up to 4 different volume controllers. So you've always got to have master volume on one of these 4. Generally it's on volume 1, but doesn't have to be. So for example, the way that this would work is I have my master volume on number 1. I might want to put my subwoofer on number 2. I want another volume controller for my rear fill, and I want another volume controller for my DAC player or something, right? So for each of these volume controllers, it's another key press on the conductor to select it. So it's useful to have different colors so that when you're using the conductor you can tell which volume control you're in. So for example, I might want my master volume to be orange because that suits the interior of the car. My subwoofer I'm going to make blue. My rear attenuation I'll make yellow, or whatever it is. Or if you don't want all of those 4, you can simply disable them. Right? So I only want 2 volume controls, not 4, depending on your system. You're also able to control independently for each of these volume controllers the sensitivity of the volume knob, and you're also able to set up the startup volume. So for example, if I have my master volume and I want it to be very quiet when I start up the car, I might set it to 45. But then I don't want my sub volume to drop away every time I turn on the system, so I might turn that feature off for my sub volume, for example. But that's how you use this volume control configuration. I think we've already touched on this section, the tone control. When you have your conductor plugged in, this section will give you information about the firmware version, etc. And then finally, this section allows you to save, load your conductor configurations, and also reset the conductor back to factory defaults. So that is a quick rundown on all of the features under your conductor configuration menu. I hope that was helpful, and if you've got any questions, please chuck them in the comments below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Cheers.